Hey everybody, what's up? No, it's been a while, but this is Kevin back with a serious man, and I've got a very special video for you guys today. Apple unveiled a lot of new products at their summer convention, and today we're going to be going over that. So stay tuned. Let's jump over the intro and see what we got in store. So this year's event was virtual, like all the other events that Apple has been doing since the beginning of COVID. He took the stage, basically wearing the exact same thing that he always wears, but not going to judge him on that. Here he is describing the benefits and the performance of Apple TV and Apple TV Plus. So, in the last year, I think he mentioned that the subscriber base has grown over 40%, which is pretty impressive. And just goes to show you the amount of influence that COVID has had over the binging crowd, if that's what you want to call it. There are a lot of new shows that are coming to Apple TV Plus. All of them are going to be available for viewing this year. I think they are going to start dropping them later on this fall to the beginning of 2022. So if you guys are a subscriber to that, some of these trailers look pretty awesome. And if I were you, I wouldn't mind taking advantage and seeing what these shows are about. So as you can see, there's a lot of new content coming to Apple TV and Apple TV Plus. A lot of movies, a couple of late night sitcom talk shows, a lot of action movies, sci-fi.
He didn't beat you because he's better. He beat you because he's smarter.
I think these guys are really trying to up their binging in their audience. And from the looks of it, I think Netflix has a very strong competitor on their hands.
I think I can help you. First thing I'm going to do is completely unethical. I'm going to give you a hug. I'm a hugger.
Remember to focus on the here and now. Living in the moment, it's a gift. That's why they call it the present, y'all.
So once Tim was done talking about Apple TV and Apple TV Plus, he got down to the products and we started out with the iPad. Now, this was a very interesting move by Apple because normally the September event, we see new iPhones, which is a guarantee. Past couple of summers, we've seen AirPods, we've seen the HomePod, but we haven't gotten anything from the iPad and the iPad mini, which were the two products in the iPad lineup that they announced today. The iPad Pro and the iPad Air, usually events happen later on in the year or the beginning of the following year. So it was pretty cool to see that they're going to be refreshing the 10-inch iPad and the iPad mini. Now, iPad OS has been a very integral part of how the iPad works and how you interact with it. There are thousands of apps available, all types of crazy functionality and uses, which has expanded the iPad's usage into many fields, including the industries of education, health, medical science, and so forth and so on. This is what Tim was going on when he was introducing that they're going to be refreshing the 10-inch model iPad. Standard iPad is going to come equipped with a 10.2-inch True Tone display, which is great for multitasking, where you can do two things on one screen. It's also really good for gaming, and they're going to be upping the ante on this as well. The front camera is now going to be bumped up to 12 megapixel ultra wide with a field of view, or a great field of depth is what I think they're calling it. What this means is that with that front camera, you can fit more into the image instead of just trying to cram more people. The cameras actually see more itself, which enables it to use the feature called Center Stage. Center Stage is really great. What it does is that, say, if you're using the front camera to make a video as a little girl is here doing, instead of moving the iPad will actually move with you. And as more people come into frame, it expands the picture, giving you guys that perfect balance instead of you having to actually adjust any settings. You're also going to be able to use this iPad with a lot of the accessories that are currently available for iPads, such as the smart keyboard, and they are adding functionality to where you can use the first generation Apple Pencil with this iPad. Now, with the other iPads in the past, Apple has been known to give special discounts to educators. This iPad is going to be available for $299 for anybody in the education field, and regular price is starting at $329. This iPad is equipped with everything that you can see above, including the A13 iBionic chip. Next up is the iPad mini, where Tim Cook took time to talk about the usage and the portability with an all new design, new screen, new rounded corners. This iPad mini is going to come in 4 different colors. And with its redesign, it's got squared chamfered edges, kind of like what you're familiar with the iPhone 12 and the upcoming iPhone 13. Power button is moved to the top. We've got a rear camera on the back. And as for the colors, we have purple, pink, starlight, and space gray. This iPad is going to come with an 8.3-inch True Tone display, same technology that you're seeing in the 10-inch model. And this iPad is going to be equipped with the A15 Bionic chip, which means you get 40% increased CPU and 80% GPU performance. And gone now is the Lightning cable. The iPad mini is going to be equipped with a USB-C cable, which allows for faster data transferring. And as far as that camera I mentioned earlier, this is a 12 megapixel camera with 1.8 aperture. And just like the iPad 10-inch refresh, the iPad mini is also going to have Apple Pencil support, whereas this iPad is going to be supporting the second generation Apple Pencil. Now here's full spec of features that they listed with the new iPad mini, including 5G connectivity, all-day battery life, stereo speakers, and Apple is making a great push to be environmentally safe and make this iPad energy efficient by using recycled materials in its build. Now, following the surprise iPad announcements, this is something that I knew was actually going to be on its way, and this is the announcement of the Apple Watch 7. Now, this Apple Watch, unlike others in the past, doesn't have a lot of new hardware features, but I think the one thing that you guys are going to notice the most, as you can see, is going to be the improved display. Comparing to the past Apple Watches, like the first one there that's on the left-hand side, that Apple Watch 7 has got edge-to-edge display, which is great. They're going to be using this new display to take advantage of new features that they're including with the all-screen keyboard. They're making buttons bigger, which is easier for you to press and do more things on the Apple Watch. As you can see, there's going to be a new watch face, and this is pretty cool. As the time goes on, the numbers get bigger, corresponding with the hand. The materials are going to be pretty much the same as they were before. A front display, which is made of crystal, it is crack resistant. We have IP60 water and dust resistance overall. Increased brightness up to 70%. Fast charging is also going to be available on this new Apple Watch. And there are going to be 5 different colors for the standard Apple Watch 7, 3 colors on the Apple Watch SE, and 2 colors on the Apple Watch 3. You have 2 colors on the Apple Watch Linq version. The Hermes has 3. And there's this new weird band that comes available. I'm not really sure what they were doing with that, but you can also get that for purchase on the Apple Store as well. And as with the iPads, Apple is continuing to try to reduce their environmental footprint by making the Apple Watch of recycled materials. The Apple Watch lineup is going to be this. We have the 3 from $199, the SE from $279, and the Series 7 from $399. And here are all the features of the new Apple Watch Series 7. Now, the last set of products that make their debut on this year's event are going to be the 4 new iPhones: the iPhone 13, iPhone 13 mini, iPhone 13 Pro, and the iPhone 13 Pro Max. We're going to start out with showcasing the iPhone 13 and the iPhone 13 mini. Now, these iPhones are going to come available in 5 colors. We have pink, blue, midnight, starlight, and the all new refresh of the product red. Both iPhones are still going to have the same ceramic shield display carried over from the iPhone 12s. The 13 mini is going to have a 5.4-inch display, where the iPhone 13 will have a 6.1-inch. Both iPhones are going to have the diagonal camera on the back that were confirmed earlier from leaks that we saw this past year. We have under 800 nits on the brightness, 1200 max, XDR display, OLED, and the A15 Bionic chip is going to come standard in both of these iPhones. 15 billion transistors, which means it's going to be very powerful, a 6-core CPU, and a 50% faster improvements from the iPhone 12. 4-core GPU means the graphics and gaming is going to be a lot better. You have up to 30% enhancement on the graphics. These are all of the specs of the chip. And I want to highlight the neural engine and 2 times storage cache, which means even though that these are considered the base model iPhones, they're going to be able to pack a very good punch as well as compete with a lot of other top tier flagships that are currently out right now. Now, moving our focus to the cameras on our back. Again, this is that diagonal camera display. The bottom is going to be a 12 megapixel wide sensor with a 1.6 aperture, 100% focus pixels, and a 7 element lens. The one on the top is going to be 12 megapixels again. This is an ultra wide sensor with 2.4 aperture and 120 degrees field of view, meaning that you can put more inside of your pictures. They have 4K 60 frames per second HDR video recording. These cameras are able to capture up to 50% more light, which means a better portrait mode and improved night camera mode as well. These iPhones are also going to come equipped with a new camera capture or video capture mode that Apple likes to call cinematic mode. And what this does is cinematic mode enables a feature called rack focus, which means when you are recording something, you're going to be able to focus on the object that's closest to you, and then you can switch focus to something else, improving your field of depth. This is the video that Apple showed off, and it's going to do a lot better job in explaining the feature than what I'm able to. But if you pay close attention, as you're focusing on one person, like the guy in the front, you can see him clear, and then you can see as it focused on an object in front of him, it blurred him out, but improved the focus or at least the quality of whatever was in front of him. That's pretty much what rack focus does. One thing Apple did fail to mention at this year's keynote was the battery sizes of the new iPhones. They did want to say, however, that the iPhone 13 mini is going to have 1.5 more battery life than the iPhone 12 mini, whereas the iPhone 13 is going to see an improved battery life of 2.5 hours over the iPhone 12. And as with the iPhone 12s from last year, Apple's making a good push to make MagSafe accessories more popular, so you're going to be introducing a lot more of those. They're also introducing a lot more colors for the cases that they manufacture on their own. And here are the full feature list of the iPhone 13 and iPhone 13 mini. You have the A15 avionic chip. We have better battery life, IP68 water and dust resistance, improved 5G radio, all across the board. This is going to be an awesome iPhone. This iPhone 13 is going to go on sale for $799, whereas the iPhone 13 mini will be starting at $699. And both of these iPhones will come in three storage capabilities: 128 gigabytes, 256 gigabytes, and 512 gigabytes of storage. And following the announcements of the iPhone 13 and iPhone 13 mini, Apple did what we all saw was coming. They announced the iPhone 13 Pro and the iPhone 13 Pro Max. And to do that, I'm going to hand the honors over to Tim Cook.
Let's take a look at our most pro iPhone ever.
Cage, searching for its bird sentence, searching for its word. Tick, time bend, simulate the clock in its hand.
So as you can see, the iPhone 13 Pro and 13 Pro Max of this year don't visually look a lot different from the 12 Pro and 12 Pro Max of last year. We still have the same stainless steel edges that are polished. You have four colors that are going to be available. We have black, gold, silver, graphite, gold, silver, and blue, where the blue is going to be much lighter compared to last year's, but it still has that frosted glass on the back, allowing you to wirelessly charge your iPhone. A triple camera lens setup makes its return with a Super Retina XDR display with ceramic shield. This is going to be great because the iPhone is still going to be water and dust resistant. It's going to resist a lot of cracks. If you drop it from a certain height, it's not supposed to break. MagSafe is also making its return. Again, with the iPhone 12s, Apple is making a push for MagSafe accessories with these iPhone 13s. And the processor is getting a bump on the iPhone 13 Pro and Pro Max as well, where they're going to be including the 815 Bionic chip. And let's talk a little bit about that chip. So this chip has 6 cores, has a faster neural engine, which for those who don't understand, it basically means that this chip is more intelligent. It backs up the power of Siri and iOS, allowing it to compute more and do more for you. A new image signal processor, which is greatly going to help the display and the battery life of this iPhone, with double the system cache, allowing it to store more and do more for you. Now, that display that I mentioned before is Super Retina XDR, so it's super sharp and extremely crisp with lifelike graphics. It's a 1000 nits of peak outdoor brightness, so when you're using the phone outside, you'll be able to see what you're doing without a lot of glare. The Pro Motion display is also a very big plus for iPhones because this is something that we've wanted since it made its debut on the iPad Pro. The refresh rate is up to 120 hertz. But what's great about the iPhone 13 Pro and Pro Max's Pro Motion display is that this display has the ability to lower its refresh rate when you're not needing it to be so high. So if you're doing something that is highly processive, it's going to use 120 hertz to give you the best response. But when you're not, it's going to slow that down to 10 hertz, thus saving your battery life as well, which is really great. And focusing your attention on the back, we have the triple camera lens set up like the 12s from last year, a 12 megapixel ultra wide with 1.8 aperture. The low light performance has been improved by 92%, a 12 megapixel telephoto, which has a 3 times the optical zoom, and another 12 megapixel wide angle lens. This has 1.5 aperture. They've increased the low light performance by 2.2%, which means that you're going to be able to take better pictures and better videos, cameras at night. These are some of the photos that Apple showed off during their keynote. As you can see, the colors are more realistic, the details are incredible. They also did a segment of it showing how the video cameras are incredible as well. Once I have my hands on with the phone, I can't wait to show you guys what this phone is capable of doing. And here we have the feature list of the iPhone 13 Pro and 13 Pro Max. We have the improved night mode, Pro Motion display with 120 hertz refresh rates, ProRes video that I just mentioned, LiDAR, ceramic shield, the triple camera lens setup, water resistance. Again, this is going to be another powerhouse iPhone that I'm very looking forward to getting my hands on. Apple did again fail to mention the size of the battery, but the iPhone 13 Pro has 1.5 longer battery life than the 12 Pro of last year, and the iPhone 13 Pro Max has an increased battery life of 2.5 hours compared to the iPhone 12 Pro Max of last year. And as with all the other items that they listed in their keynote today, Apple is trying to reduce their economical footprint by using recycled materials in the iPhone 13 and 13 Pro Max. Now, as far as pricing is, the iPhone 13 Pro will be starting at $999, where the iPhone 13 Pro Max will have a starting price of $1,099. Both of these iPhones will come with 4 different memory configurations, with a base storage of 128 gigs, then going up to 256, then up to 512, maxing out at a massive 1 terabyte of storage. All 4 iPhones, the 13, the 13 mini, 13 Pro, and the Pro Max, will be available for pre-sale this Friday, and you'll be able to pick them up in stores starting on September 24th. Apple also reduced the prices of the SE, the 11, and the 12. And there we have it. So Apple's keynote ends with 2 new iPads, of course the Apple Watch, and the iPhone 13s. The surprise was the iPads. I was more expecting to hear something about the AirPods or maybe something with the HomePod, but maybe Apple is saving that for later on this year. Who knows? Let me know what you guys think of the keynote in the comments. And be sure to like and subscribe. I do appreciate you watching this video. And until next time, stay safe. Peace.